What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, taking a look at the new Earthbound support and also the new Centurion support. I think that's how you say it. Centurion. Okay, it sounds about right. In any case, they're both like synchro oriented, and to be honest with you, when the Earthbound support was first announced, I always just figured it locked you into like things, like Earthbound or something, but it definitely doesn't at all. It's like very generic. It's also like a really great way to get to Harmonic Synchro Fusion, which is an absurdly strong card. It lets you fusion summon and synchro summon at the same time, and you just get so much value out of that, obviously. The Centurion does revolve around the field spell a little bit, a lot actually. So basically, you have all these runic cards which search you like the field spell. You don't really use the runic like engine in the traditional sense of drawing a bunch of cards, because the duel's over. Like, you're just like hyper focusing in on summoning calamities, and it's like very, very easy to get there. But in any case, let's go card by card, and then I'll show you guys a couple gameplay to really explain everything. But you can run a lot of hand traps because the field spell is a one card calamities, and pretty much there's like 9 copies of your starter. It's pretty cool. Okay, but anyways, that's why you have a lot of room for hand traps. 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Ghost, Imperm. I don't know. I mean, you could put anything here, I guess, but I don't know. I kind of like this card. I feel like it's definitely good against the sarcophagus stuff, and like Pearly, it's pretty good against. There's definitely places, especially like in casual setting, where Ghost Ogre can really pop up. I actually kind of like this card, and especially with like field spells around like a lot right now too. But in any case, I don't know. There's like a slot for like 1 card, so I mean, I don't know, like Harpy's Feather Duster. You can run another copy of Fountain, but like I said, you're not really running the engine. They're more like instant fusions, like infinite, instant fusions, but also like good going second cards. But yeah, that's just why there's a random one of. I could also just see this card being limited and people still playing it, but 1 copy of Called by the Grave, 3 copies of Flashing Fire, 1 copy of Destruction. And every deck is like spell and trap based, and you have 3 copies of Tip, so you kind of already do have multiple copies of this card. So that's why I don't play like a lot of like more of it. I guess again, you could probably like cut this and play another runic spell, but whatever, little difference. Okay, so 3 copies of Tip, 3 copies of Freezing Curses. So again, these are your instant fusion / going second cards. So really, you have like a very large lineup of going second cards, right? Which is pretty cool. 3 copies of the field spell, the stand-up Centurion, and 1 copy of Fountain. And then I talked about Harmonic Synchro Fusion. And then here's the Earthbound part of it. 3 copies of the Stone Sweeper. This just lets you discard to search, basically. Which you're almost always going to search this one because it just gives you an extra body for free. If it's normal or special summon, it lets you bring out basically one of these 2 from the deck. Or graveyard, which is kind of interesting. We'll just put these over here really quickly. But yeah, 3 copies of, what is this one? Line Walker, and then 3 copies of the one that, brings out someone. Normal summons, it brings out another Earthbound. The Prisoner, Groundkeeper, whatever. I'm sure these won't be the final names. And then 1 copy each of the Centurion monsters. So Primera, Trudia, and the Emmet. And then I do run like a counter trap because the worst part about this engine is that they're odd level synchros or tuner monsters. So it's like the odd synchro lineup is not nearly as good as the even one, which is very strange. Like level 9s and level 6s or level 7s, excuse me, are like really, really awkward. There's a few good tech choices here and there. But yeah, like having 1 and 3 is kind of rough for sure. But yeah, you can get to the Yangzing monster. It's just another, basically protection. Right? Nothing can beat you essentially with your end board of Calamities because it's double counter trap protected, which is absurd. So yeah, onto the extra deck. 1 copy of the Geo. This one. This lets you search on summon. It's not really great, but it's the best option. It's a level 6, which is good too. But, there is actually a Earthbound Immortal monster that you can search. It's kind of easily summonable, but you don't ever really need the extender, and most of the time you're discarding the card you search with this anyways. It's kind of just like free discard fodder. 1 copy of Fangs. This is like the one you're going to bring out the most. It's dark and it's a level 4, which is important for the combo. This is one you could probably drop. Like, I definitely have not summoned this, but I guess if you're playing this in paper, for whatever reason, ungodly reason, you would do that. This is good for time, right? Because you can gain life points. Hugin, of course, to search the field spell. This is like the main card of the deck. Calamities basically just says your opponent can't play, and your opponent has to scoop. Doesn't matter what they're playing. This is the Centurion Synchro. Lets you draw a card and then basically just like reload one of your guys, which is super important and gives you a ton of advantage. It's also like pops a card too. Like if it summon it during your opponent's turn, it's also good. It also has 3k attack. This is the Crimson Dragon, which of course cheats this out using these little monsters here. Disc Spotter, you can actually get to Disc Spotter naturally. You don't have to use it. If you go into Ancient Fairy Dargon, which you do very often, you can like sometimes bring back the Line Walker, and then that like fulfills the requirements, I'm pretty sure. Or one of them. I don't really remember what the combo is, but you can bring out Disc Spotter pretty normally. Yeah, non-tuner dragon monster. So Ancient Fairy Dargon does work. Baron is also just a generic 10, which you can get to 10s. It's not too hard. Shen Shen is a level 9. It's the best level 9 synchro in the game. It's like a very bad pool. And sometimes this is a game-winning card. I feel like this card is extremely underrated. Earthbound Geo Griffin. This is the Monster Reborn. If it stays on the field, actually, it can also... like, it's a quick effect Monster Reborn. So I'm sure there's probably like a way better way I can use this card. I just don't really know what it is yet. But I feel like in the future you could take advantage of it, because then you can Monster Reborn something during your opponent's turn, and then you can, you get to play during your opponent's turn because of this field spell. It's really stupid. Ancient Fairy Dargon. This card's really good. I talked about Yang Zing just basically being a counter trap package. Berserk. Sometimes, like when you, especially going into the later stages of the game, you can bring these two out and you can go into a level 8 synchro, and that's a pretty good pool. Like Berserker is definitely like fills in a pretty good spot here. If your opponent's playing like Dangers, this is like the best monster ever. F8 on Dragster is just a level 7, and sometimes you do have basically just like 7 levels of monsters, and this is like a really good card for sure. Okay, so let me go over to the replays now, and I'll just show like the regular combo. If you get it off, like, and this is like the most traditional one, you see one of your Earthbounds plus any 2 of your Runick spells is full combo, which is a double protected Calamities. And there we go. So you can use a Harmonic Synchrofusion, go into Ancient Fairy Dargon. So the benefit obviously is that most like Harmonic Synchrofusion is like very balanced by the fact that it does not count as a Synchro Summon. So that like knocks out a very, very large pool of Synchro monster effects. And there we go. Like I said, like the Runick stuff is just very much a little like amazing package, because again, if you see this card, you're more than likely winning. If this card goes off and like the cards do afterward, I would assume you have like a 99% win percentage. It's Lava Golem, Sphere Mode, and Super Poly. Like those are the 3 outs in the game. Otherwise, like I can't think of a clean out. Because as soon as my opponent does literally anything, and again, I have 2 counter traps, so it doesn't really matter what it is other than those cards I just talked about. You're just going to be able to just like do this, and your opponent can do absolutely nothing about it. You can now search the other monster, because the thing is, like, you want this counter trap to be online right here, so you need to put one of the bodies back, and obviously like Met or whatever it's called. This one just does that, the big level 8 one, and then there we go, Calamities, and now my opponent can't play. And of course, like, you just have to scoop, and then this just reloads again. That's why I say, like, this is where you want the Synchro 8 in, just to like have an extra body on board. So it really works out. And I'll just show one more to show that, like, yeah, even if you see the Centurion monsters, like, you want to use your normal summon, obviously, on the Earthbound stuff. Very, very easy to do, because Ancient Fairy Dargon is absolutely insane. Lets you basically get a free body on the board. So it's like, Ancient Fairy Dargon works great when you have, like, multiple really powerful normal summons. And, you don't really want to see this card normal. Like, most of the time, you're just going to search it out, through the field spell. But in this case, I had it in my hand. And you would like suck if like the whole strategy just fell apart if you saw one, but it's like really not like that at all, as you can see here. And you just kind of go like through the regular little combo tree again. And the only thing that really matters is Calamities. So, and this is where F8 on Dragster comes in. And then yeah, as soon as my opponent starts playing, it looks like they're playing Yubel, but you can just like put any 5 cards in this guy's hand, and it's not really mattering. Because Calamity is such a stupid card, and it should be banned. And I hate cards like this. But like when they're in formats, like it's so hard not to play it, because you win like every time. Of course, right? Your opponent surrenders. The writing's on the wall when you see a Synchro 12 on the board. So like when they're gonna have to ban Calamities before Centurion comes out, or like the format's gonna be ruined, right? This is a very goofy version of the deck. But like if you're actually playing Centurion and like you're just like focusing on this Calamity stuff, it's really crazy. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Other than that's going to do it for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.